Welcome to our exploration into a little-known yet poignant tale from medieval history. In the early 13th century, amidst the fervor of the Crusades, a unique and tragic movement emerged. Known as the Children's Crusade, it was a journey marked not by the clash of swords, but by the steps of the young, driven by faith and a desire for peace in a tumultuous era. Chapter 1. Historical context. In 1212, Europe was a continent gripped by religious fervor and political strife. The Crusades, a series of holy wars, were underway, aiming to reclaim the Holy Lands from Muslim rule. It was a time when faith often dictated life and death, and kings and knights led armies in the name of religion. Amidst this backdrop, the idea of a peaceful crusade, led by the pure-hearted and innocent, began to take shape. The Children's Crusade stands apart in history. Unlike the typical Crusader armies, this movement was not led by battle-hardened warriors, but by children, some as young as 6. They were driven by a profound belief that their innocence and faith could succeed where swords and sieges had failed. This crusade was not sanctioned by the church or any monarch. It was a grassroots movement, arising from a deep-rooted desire for peace and the liberation of the Holy Lands. The children, inspired by spiritual visions and a sense of divine mission, embarked on a journey that reflected the era's complex interplay of faith, innocence, and the longing for peace in a time of relentless conflict. Chapter 2. The Beginning. The story of the Children's Crusade begins with 2 figures, Stephen of Cloyes, a French shepherd boy, and Nicholas of Cologne, a young German. Stephen, merely a child himself, claimed that Jesus appeared to him, entrusting him with a letter for the King of France. His message was clear. It was time for the innocent to peacefully reclaim Jerusalem. Similarly, Nicholas, inspired by religious fervor, began preaching and gathering followers in Germany. These young shepherds became unlikely leaders, their conviction resonating deeply with thousands of children. They believed that their purity of heart and unwavering faith would miraculously part the Mediterranean Sea, allowing them to walk to the Holy Land. This idea, fueled by religious zeal and the innocence of youth, quickly spread. Boys and girls, some leaving home without their parents' knowledge, joined these crusades. They came from all walks of life, united by a common goal. This was no ordinary journey. It was a pilgrimage of faith, led by children, in a world dominated by adult decisions and conflicts. Their march was a symbol of hope, a testament to their belief in miracles and the power of innocence. Chapter 3. The Journey. The journey of the Children's Crusade was an extraordinary spectacle. Thousands of children, some as young as 6, embarked on a daunting trek across Europe. Without proper provisions or a clear plan, they relied on their faith and the kindness of strangers for sustenance and shelter. They traversed vast distances, walking through fields, forests, and towns, their numbers growing as they passed. The route was fraught with challenges. In France, Stephen of Cloyes led his group southward, aiming for the Mediterranean coast. Meanwhile, Nicholas of Cologne and his followers journeyed across the Alps, facing the harsh realities of nature. The children endured hunger, exhaustion, and the merciless elements. Many succumbed to disease or fatigue, their youthful determination tested by the harshness of their journey. Despite these hardships, the children's resolve remained unshaken. They sang and prayed as they marched, their spirit undimmed by the obstacles they faced. However, their innocence made them vulnerable. Along the way, they encountered people who were less than sympathetic to their cause. Some saw them as naive and misguided, while others viewed them as easy targets for exploitation. This journey, marked by both courage and naivety, stands as a poignant chapter in history. It showcases the extraordinary lengths to which faith and hope can drive the human spirit, especially in the young and unworldly. As they moved closer to the coast, the realities of their endeavor began to set in, but their belief in a miraculous path to the Holy Land persisted. Chapter 4. The Tragic Turn. The Children's Crusade reached a critical juncture upon arriving at the Mediterranean coast. Here, the harsh truth began to overshadow their dreams. The sea did not part as they had hoped, leaving them stranded, confused, and disillusioned. It was at this vulnerable moment that tragedy struck. In Marseille, 2 unscrupulous merchants, seeing an opportunity, offered to transport the children to the Holy Land free of charge. Desperate and weary, many believed this was the miracle they had been praying for. However, these promises were a ruse. Once aboard the ships, the children's fate took a dark turn. Accounts suggest that instead of heading to the Holy Land, the merchants sold many of these children into slavery in North Africa. In another group led by Nicholas, after realizing the impossibility of their mission, many children began the arduous journey back home. However, countless never made it, succumbing to the perils of the journey. The Children's Crusade, which began with such hope and innocence, ended in despair and tragedy. The few who returned were changed forever, carrying with them the heavy burden of their experiences. The fate of those lost or sold into slavery remains a heartbreaking mystery, their voices silenced by history. This stands as a somber reminder of the vulnerabilities of youth and the perils of misguided zeal. It underscores the tragic consequences when innocence is exploited and dreams are shattered by harsh realities. The Children's Crusade, in its lofty aspirations and tragic end, offers a poignant lesson on the complexities of faith, innocence, and the brutal truths of the medieval world. Chapter 5: Aftermath and Impact. The aftermath of the Children's Crusade was a landscape of sorrow and unfulfilled hopes. Very few of the thousands of children who embarked on this journey returned home. Those who did came back forever changed, carrying with them the heavy burden of their experiences. The crusade left a trail of heartbreak, not only for the children, but also for the families who never saw their loved ones again. The event did not go unnoticed in the annals of history. It became a symbol of misguided zeal and the vulnerability of the innocent. The Children's Crusade highlighted the dangers of fanaticism and the exploitation of the naive. It also shed light on the broader social and religious dynamics of the Middle Ages, illustrating how deeply entrenched beliefs could inspire such extraordinary actions. In the years that followed, the Children's Crusade was often remembered as a lesson in the perils of unguided enthusiasm and the manipulation of the young for ulterior motives. It stands as a poignant reminder of the need for guidance and protection for the vulnerable, especially in times of turmoil and uncertainty. This tragic misadventure, unique in its nature and participants, continues to resonate as a cautionary tale about the exploitation of innocence and the harsh realities of medieval society. Chapter 6: Conclusion. The Children's Crusade, a blend of innocence and tragedy, serves as a powerful historical lesson. It reminds us of the perils faced by the vulnerable when led astray by lofty ideals without proper guidance or understanding of the realities. This event underscores the importance of protecting the young and innocent, and the responsibilities that come with leadership. As we reflect on this chapter of history, it becomes clear that the fervor and faith of the young, while admirable, need the tempering hand of wisdom and experience to navigate the complexities of the world. Thank you for joining us on this journey through a poignant piece of history. The Children's Crusade teaches us valuable lessons about faith, innocence, and the consequences of misguidance. If you found this story enlightening, please consider liking and sharing this video. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights into the fascinating chapters of our past.